Welcome to another episode of Bumping Into Walls here on CJSW 90.9 on that FM dial, and of course on that CJSW app. I am Dave, your designated host for this half hour. Oh boy, you think I've been doing this a while, and you think I know what I'm doing, but I don't. Anthony, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good. Hey, we do have a returning
guest. We do have a returning guest, so do you want to make the intro on this one?
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, sure.
I could do it, yeah.
Well, okay, go ahead.
I'm Sharron, and I've got my guide dog with me, Beacon. We were here maybe 6 months ago, and I was talking about getting my dog and the responsibilities and the rewards, et cetera, et cetera. And today I want to talk about losing my sight at the age of 28, how it happened, how I dealt with it, how I'm dealing with it, and so on.
Hey,
all right, well, perfect. Wow.
Yeah, let's jump in.
Talking about letting the host sit back, relax, and take it easy. I like that, Sharron.
Yeah, me too.
Good. As again, very, very good to meet you. I haven't had a chance to meet you because you were in here last night.
Right.
So let's get down to business, shall we? About the eyesight at 28.
I lost my sight at 20. Whoever is listening, please listen carefully. I got diabetes at the age of 16, juvenile diabetes, type 1. If anybody is listening, please take care of your diabetes. I did not take care of my diabetes. I got it at a very immature age. I don't know if there's any good age to get diabetes, but I did not take care of myself. At 16, I was from a small town in Saskatchewan, and there was nothing to do but go to bush parties. I was, at the age of 16, you're experimenting with drinking, with cigarettes, pot smoking, staying out all night. So didn't take care of myself. And at the age of 28, I became totally blind. Totally blind. It happened very, very, very fast. I started first with diabetic retinopathy, where the doctors were doing lasers in my eyes. So I've got about 5,000 burns in each eye. So with diabetic retinopathy, the blood vessels in the back of your eye start to explode. And you see little they call them floaters, which are blood vessels floating around the eye, et cetera, et cetera. And then when I was getting the lasers done for that, I got neovascular glaucoma, acute, which is short and serious. Probably the worst type of glaucoma you can get. I got that done. And when I was getting all of the glaucoma surgeries done, et cetera, my kidneys had shut down from the diabetes. Okay, so if anybody's listening, you're the only one that could take care of your diabetes. Your doctors could talk to you till they're blue in the face. You're the one that walks out of the doctor's office and say, okay, I will take care of myself or I won't. So it's up to you. So my kidneys were shut down. But before that, at 28, when I became totally blind, I met my husband, which is now my ex-husband, but still the best of friends. I met Trevor. Never seen him. I've never seen him. I fell in love with his insides and his cologne.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the nicest cologne. It was Pie by Givenchy. So anyways, we hit it off, and he moved me into his house, got me a room, and I said, Trevor, I just became blind. I'd like my own room if that's okay. Absolutely. Made a room for me. I had my own room. We got married in Las Vegas, March 16th. May 16th, I ended up on dialysis, which is not fun. Dialysis is very, very hard. I was very, very sick on dialysis. Again, I was a diabetic then. They gave me a time limit, a diabetic on dialysis, no more than 5 years. Okay, so I wasn't doing well. And when I went blind, I never got a chance to really grieve for my eyesight because I was too sick with doctor's appointments and going on dialysis. So dialysis was Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 4 hours on the machine. So they start with a central line in your chest, and they hook you up to a dialysis machine, and after that was done, I got a fistula in the arm where they put 2 16-gauge needles in my arm, which wasn't very fun, and I wasn't doing well. So for 2 years on dialysis, Trevor would take me to Foothills Emergency about 3 times a month. He didn't think I was going to make it a few times. You're on a very, very strict diet. I was on a diabetic diet plus a dialysis diet, which consists of basically rice and beans and chicken.
Yum.
There's nothing much you can eat.
No sugars, not even fruit and stuff.
Well, no, being on dialysis, no potassium. It's because your kidneys filter out all your toxins out of your system. Okay, so I was getting pitting edema. So when I was on dialysis for the 2 years, I never peed once. I stopped peeing. So you're limited to liquid, any kind of liquid. I was not allowed to drink. They actually have a ice machine at the dialysis ward. So all we did was suck on ice and chew ice. And so very low potassium because it builds up in your system. No salt. The kidneys have little filters in them, and it filters out your bloodstream, all the toxins, all your electrolytes, et cetera, et cetera. So it was tough. Dialysis was tough. Trevor would come with me. He basically saved my life. Yeah. And then when I was on, the last time I went to the hospital, I woke him up at 1 a.m. I knew my potassium was up. I had trouble with high potassium, but I wasn't eating anything with potassium. So the doctors had no idea. The last time I went to the hospital, I woke Trevor up at 1 a.m. We ran to the foothills. They put me on a machine, got a crash cart. Trevor was like, oh my goodness, what's going on? I'm like, oh, I'm so sick. And then we went to dialysis the next day. He brought me in a wheelchair because at one point I couldn't stand up. He had to carry me up to bed. Ran into my nephrologist, which is a kidney doctor. I'm going to say his name, Dr. Mortis, which is a fantastic doctor. He very, very intelligent, very funny. He walked up to Trevor and I and said, Sharron, I got you on top of the list. You're not doing very good. He went in front of all the transplant doctors, the team, and the surgeons and got me up to the top of the list. I don't know where I was on the list, but he got me on the top. A month later, I was on dialysis. It was about 4 o'clock when the nurses woke me up and said, Sharron, we got to cancel your handy bus. We got a donor for you.
Nice.
I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay, so I was like, we're going to finish you up. Call everybody, which I did. Called my mom and dad, my brother, my friends. Called Trevor. Trevor came by. We finished dialysis at 5 o'clock, McCaig Tower right away because the other gentleman that got the kidney, this was from a deceased donor because you cannot take a pancreas out of a human body. So the other gentleman that got the kidney had to wait for my surgery because the kidney can last longer in whatever they put they say it's on ice in a beer box or something, a cooler. So we walked up to the McCaig Center and I was lying on the table and I remember turning my head to the right. And this is the last thing I remember is I could see my deceased grandfather looking down at my body surrounded in a white light. And I turned to Trevor to my left and I said, Trevor, my grandpa just arrived. I have to go. And that's the last thing I remember. And then waking up after the surgery.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So really the little known fact, I'm into sort of that stuff, the kind of near-death experience, I guess is what they call it.
No, I saw him.
And so it does hold true.
It does.
It does happen, and it happens more often than
Yes.
folks think. But
Yes.
flash forward to where you are now.
Yes.
Obviously, you're feeling well, and from what I'm getting so far is folks with diabetes, whether it's in my situation, type 2, look after yourself as much as you can.
I call it you are your own devil, you're your own God. You could either go one way or the other way. If you go one way, you're going to be healthy. If you go the other way, you're going to turn out like me, totally blind with a kidney and a pancreas transplant on a whole bunch of anti-rejection drugs, which are horrible, I have to say. the transplant was very, very hard on me. I was pumped with steroids, prednisone. I was restrained. I'll tell you that story if you want to hear it.
I guess we're brave enough. Let's jump in.
Sure, let's jump in.
Okay, so I remember waking up, and I remember waking up in the operating room and Dr. Moore just laughing at me. Sharron, they didn't tell you how puffy you were going to be. My kidney didn't kick in yet, and they were pumping me with fluids. So, and they brought me up, and I remember Trevor saying, "Hi, Sharron." I said, "Trevor, I'm pretty swollen." And I remember putting my hand out and kind of trying to make a fist, and then my parents coming and my dad getting me a whole bunch of roses, and I was confused then. My mom had to go to the washroom. I said, "Mom, the washroom's upstairs." I thought it was at home. And what they did is they put me in a room next to the kind of waiting area where there's a TV. Okay, so I'm totally blind, and probably the fourth day I was in a deep, deep psychotic psychosis state where they had to restrain me. Okay, so I was lying in bed. I was trying to sleep. I had trouble sleeping because prednisone is a very good steroid, but it's got so many side effects. It causes rage. Like if I had a gun, I would have shot the whole hospital.
Oh, man.
I got up, I pulled my nasogastric tube out immediately. I pulled out my catheter and I started running. And I'm blind. And all these nurses caught me, and I heard a male nurse, so I put my knee up trying to kick him between the legs. And then another nurse grabbed me, and I bit him. And I could say, "She effing bit me." And all the security guards came, grabbed my arms and legs, put me in a bed, and strangled me, and not strangled me, but restrained my arms and legs. I was there for about 5 days. I have no memory of nothing.
Probably the best thing, right? You don't want the memory of that, I wouldn't think.
No, I heard if your electrolytes are out of balance, that can make you, I know for a fact, because I remember fighting off nurses and stuff. I was a ICU patient there for
but
a
I
few
had my
weeks.
transplant already, so the kidney kicked in. They were pumping me with so many drugs, and I weighed
That'll do
about
it.
80 pounds at the time. And at one point that day, they called Trevor at 3 a.m. He remembers that she's biting nurses. Okay, so he came right away, and he came and, "Trevor," I was swearing like you wouldn't believe. I had to truck her mouth, and my friends would come and call Trevor and say, "Is something okay with Sharron?" And I had a friend that left and says, "I didn't know whether to laugh or cry." Yeah, so it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. I got out of bed, and Trevor said he went to a room and broke down. And one of the doctors said, "Trevor, it's the prednisone. We're going to start reducing the prednisone. We're going to start weaning her down from the prednisone." I started getting better and better and better. But yeah, it was not fun. I wouldn't do it again. I wouldn't do it. So I had a kidney and a pancreas transplant. Yeah. And so after my surgery, the other gentleman went and got the kidney. But it was tough. A transplant is not what people think it is. In my case, it was very, very difficult. Out of 10, I would not do it again. And I told the clinic. And September 30th will be 21 years. So I've exceeded the amount for a deceased donor. Yeah.
That's amazing. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think technology is coming along where they can almost start 3D printing some stuff.
That'd be great.
That'd be
Then you
great.
wouldn't have to go on the drugs because
Yeah.
I'm still on the drugs. And what the anti-rejection drugs do is they paralyze the white blood cells, because if I didn't have the drugs, the white blood cells would, this is a foreign object in
We're
this
gonna
lady's
chase 'em.
coffee. We're
Yeah.
going to kill it off.
Yeah.
So if I get sick, I don't have the white blood cells. So it's, she's sick. And I did get pneumonia a year after my transplant. My immune system, I'm immunocompromised. So during COVID, I made sure I got all my shots, took care of myself. And now that I've had my transplant and I'm not a diabetic anymore because I got the pancreas, now I take care of myself. Now I eat right and exercise, which I should have done in the past, but it is what it is. I hope people learn. I'd love to be an advocate for people with diabetes and show them being blind is not fun. It does have its perks, called blind privilege with the cane, and I do have my dog. But yeah, it's I didn't have time to grieve when I lost my sight. I had met Trevor. He was like an earth angel to me. Yeah, and we still talk every day, and we're the best of friends. And people are like, "You guys get along so well. Why did you get divorced?" And I said, "He was my caregiver." There is a difference.
So in his mind, as soon as you started getting better, he felt he didn't have a purpose. He couldn't be your husband at that point.
Well, right. And we had nothing in common because he worked at WestJet and loved airplanes, and I really didn't know what he did. And I was more into the self-help, spiritual sort of aspect. But we're the best of friends. And I live on disability and age, and he got to retire 4 years ago from WestJet, and he didn't take the house, nothing. I'd rather have a best friend than money.
Oh yeah.
Well, money's always good. And folks, I'm going to interrupt here and just let folks know that if you're just tuning in, this is Bumping Into Walls here on CJSW 90.9 on that FM dial.
And over at cjsw.com.
Thank
if
you.
you are not listening live, you can check us out on podcast.
You know what, Anthony? You always save my bacon in terms of that.
Oh, they nicknamed my dog Bacon at the school.
Oh, why? Because he ate everything in sight?
I don't know. Bacon Beacon, I don't know. But he's been pretty quiet today.
Yeah, he's not doing the Chewbacca thing. And he did go in our station manager's office thinking there was some food in there to eat, but...
Yes, yeah. And I have to say one thing. If
Sure.
Like I said, if you have diabetes... There is no good age. I wish, if I knew then what I know now, boy, I would have taken care of myself. Yeah.
You know what? And I hate to say it, I think about 42 or something is when I got diagnosed. And it's funny, one doctor had told me something about being borderline diabetic, and at the time I didn't think, whatever. I wasn't thinking of it. It wasn't until 2020 when I got diagnosed. I'm like, whoa, okay, this is a little bit more serious. Fortunately, in my situation, the medication is doing its thing. I think there was some levels that were high in terms of when they check, not the blood, but anyways, the doctor wasn't too concerned about it by the looks of it. But fortunately, I think the key takeaway in that is really, really watching. Of course, I've only got one eye, so I certainly don't want to end up with diabetic retinol.
Got more than me.
Yeah,
Well,
me too. Well, I was on insulin right away. And one thing I wish my doctor would have said, look, you either take care of yourself and listen to what I'm saying, or I'm not going to be your doctor anymore. If someone told me that their doctor said, look, if you don't take care of yourself, I'm wasting my time. I wish my doctor would have said that. Yeah, I would have taken care of myself, because it's hard to find a doctor.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You could be looking for days.
That could be a selfish thing to say, but boy, that would have woken me up. I needed something to... And when I became diabetic at 16, that's when I started to crave sugar. Before then, I didn't.
Insulin. I'm afraid about needing insulin. One thing my doctor told me? She said, if you end up on insulin, don't think it's your fault. It's not necessarily your fault. She explained to me, one patient of hers had no extra ounce of fat in the diet, whatever, and still needed insulin. So
right. Well, my pancreas just shut down because I was skinny. I was athletic. It just shut down, and that's what happens at juvenile diabetes. Your pancreas just says, nope, I'm done. I'm not gonna give you any more insulin. You're gonna have to take it in an injection. So at the end, I was on 4 shots a day, checking my blood sugar. I had to get a talking glucose machine because I was blind, and it was horrible. It was horrible. I wouldn't do it again. If I could relive my life, I would change almost everything. But I learned a lot.
You sure do.
I learned a lot. And if I could be an advocate for someone, even one person, if one person can hear this and take care of your diabetes, like I said, it's up to you. It's not up to your doctor. It's not up to it's not up to your family. It's up to you. You're the only one. I was sneaking in chocolate bars after I became diabetic, and my mom found them, and she goes, Sharron, and my mom was a nurse. Sharron, this is what I see at the nursing home. I didn't care. I was 16.
It's good to hear these things because a lot of people don't think it could happen to them.
Well, I thought I was invisible at 16. Right.
We learned a lot today, that's for sure. Yeah. Is there anything so once you went blind and you realized, okay, now I'm blind, what was the next step there? Did you go to CNIB and they start you training on stuff or?
I tried, but I was sick. When you're kidney failure, all you do is sleep, you have no energy, and you throw up a lot. So there's nothing I could do. Like I said, I was too sick to do anything. But yes, the CNIB did help me. I got a stick and
a white cane, not a stick?
I got a white cane, yeah. Or actually, it was like a stick, like a pencil. It didn't have a ball on the end. Yeah, but
that's true. They have all kinds of them. They have, they have the ones that have purple canes and white canes, and
And I had Trevor to help me because he was there, and and then when we separated and divorced, it's like, oh my God, I have to start using my cane. Oh no! And at first, it was embarrassing. I have to admit that. I was embarrassed to use it.
What were you thinking when you were using it? Were you thinking people are going to think I'm not still me?
No, people stare at you. And I know when I walk, even with Beacon around in my building and they're sitting on the patio, they stare at a blind person because no one wants to be blind. And they'll stare at you. And I do bump into trees. And I had some kids laugh at me when Beacon went around a pole and I bumped into the pole. I heard some kids. And if I bump into something and there's people around, I just kind of say it's 5 o'clock somewhere or the air tilted. I make a joke out of it. And I feel sorry for myself for 10 seconds and then I'm out of it.
Right on. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah. It's no life. There's no life when you feel sorry for yourself. No. You got to move on.
You do.
Yeah. And I did. Yeah. And I'm happy and
right on.
Very, very happy. I'm content. I listen to a lot of books. I go to the gym almost every day and
You're probably more dedicated than most sighted people, and that's great.
Oh, if I could be an example, I'd love to be.
Certainly.
Oh, well, you have one thing in common. Another thing in common is we listen to a lot of books, both Anthony and I.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So when COVID shut down and I was supposed to go get my dog and that was canceled, I thought, well, okay, I'm getting a little depressed here. So I thought I'm going to join a gym and I'm going to start listening to the books. And I'd get out of the gym and get into my Access and say, there's my antidepressant.
Right on. Mm-hmm. That works, right? Because you get all those hormones or whatever they're called that dopamine. Make you feel better. Dopamine, that's
dopamine
right.
Dopamine high, and it is true. And it's addictive. It's addictive. And I quit smoking. I joined the gym, and I listened to the books, and I was ready to get them because there was a lot of training to do and a lot of walking to do.
Oh yeah.
And I get him on the treadmill, and he's like, "No, I'm off. No, Mom, you go ahead."
It's not his thing, and that's okay.
Yeah, but losing your sight, it's not the end of the world.
And that's where we always look at around here. We always say, hey, you can still do whatever your passion may be. I mean, they're just doing it differently.
Yeah, and I'd like to go back to school and to be a yoga instructor. And I know I could do it. I'm very tenacious. My friends call me very tenacious, and I'm stubborn, but I use my stubbornness in a good way. I push forward. Instead of pushing back. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You don't worry about what happened in the past. You just keep trucking.
I keep trucking.
Hey, that's good.
That's tenacious for you. Yeah.
I mean, I remember when you first came in here, I bet you Beacon was probably not too sure what to make of this big building, except when he got to the food court and he thought he'd gone to heaven.
Yes. Yeah, that would be heaven for him. Heaven on earth, Beacon.
Yeah.
He's being very quiet today.
He's not making his noises. He's probably too full from all the smells he inhaled.
Probably. Yeah, so I'm happy. I live alone. I do everything on my own. I cook, I clean. I've made turkey dinners before.
Oh, nice.
Desserts. Oh yeah.
I've been at your house and I'm not dead yet, so
Yeah.
You got a great place. You got a nice small place that works for you, and
I'm a minimalist.
Which is good too.
Yeah, you can't have a lot of stuff because if you're gonna trip, you're gonna trip over your own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I got the basics. Everything is spotless. I do my own laundry. I do my own cleaning. Everything. And I love to cook. Yeah. I've made desserts. Last month I made a chocolate zucchini loaf and a banana loaf.
Oh, come to Sharron's house, everybody.
Yeah.
Yum.
You just Google it on your phone, and then I've got my Victor reader, and I I record the ingredients, and away I go.
Well, that's it.
Another Victor Reader user.
Yep.
Yeah, we just had Humanware roll through here a while ago, so that's
That
a
is
future
through
show for
Calgary.
us through
That is
Calgary.
through
Through
Calgary,
Calgary,
not
yes.
through
Not
anywhere.
through anywhere else, just through Calgary. And they did a tour. They did other places as well. I think they went to Edmonton at one point. So after us, that's where they were heading. So, that's important that people check that kind of stuff out. But that's a future show for us.
Yep.
So keep your ears open.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, and then, my first sense that actually heightened was my sense of smell. Did you hear that?
Wow.
Now, is your hearing also better? Is that true?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
I think it's not better, Dave. I think it's more, it gets used more. So it learns to, I don't think, maybe better is the wrong word.
So playing hide and go seek could be true.
We just had a gentleman pass,
I know.
and he used to play hide and go seek with his kids, but he could always catch them because he could hear them breathing or giggling.
Another thing, we have a sixth sense. I can hear when someone is around me. I can hear when I walk down the hall with Beacon, I know where there's an open space because the air is different. It echoes.
Yep, that's right.
Yes, so we have a sixth sense, and our sixth sense is really heightened. But I do want to say that I find interesting, I still see in my dreams.
Well, you would, because you're in your brain, that part of your brain's still active.
Yes, and I dream every night, and I see everything.
Oh,
And when I wake up, it's like, oh, I wish I could still dream.
that'd be awesome, right?
Yeah.
Does, obviously you don't see any light.
I see
And I guess
nothing
it's,
at all.
oh, little, okay.
Nothing.
Okay, I guess even Anthony, I'm just wondering too. I'll ask you this question because I always want to know. So, when you have no light perception, how does that work? Because remember, there's day and night. Well, obviously, say in your case, how does that mess up your sleep
Circadian
pattern?
rhythm?
Yeah, thank you.
Your circadian rhythms. I think it does. I know some people have tried different things to, like for me, I rely on time. So if I wake up and it's 4 a.m., I know it's sleepy time. Although sometimes it's really hard to know. I know people who've got their whole days and nights turned around, and I used to do that. I was famous for that. I'd sleep all day and be up all night. So eventually, I don't know how it fixed itself, but it eventually fixed itself where I would keep an eye on the time. And it's easy because a lot of times there's no way to know that you can't look out your window and say, oh, you can feel the sunshine sometimes, but winter time is horrible because you don't have. The only way you know is by listening to the radio or listening to your clock and knowing what time it is and going, well, it should be. So you're looking at a lot of shoulds in this case. Well, it's 8 o'clock, so it should be light outside, but you're not really sure.
Well, you can ask your phone what time is sunset. That's what I do.
Oh, that's what I do, yeah. That's exactly what I do, yeah.
Is it dark out yet?
Well, that works, right? Now, back in the day when they didn't have those phones,
Right.
yeah, you were kind of hooped.
And you know what, folks? We're getting down to the wire. So
Hey.
I know half an hour goes
by quick.
really quick.
Yeah. And Beacon was so good.
He didn't make a
was-
single
and
noise.
You know what, Sharron? It was a very interesting conversation
It was.
with you, and I think very, very educational.
for
As
sure.
a type 2 diabetic myself, it's scary, but hey, let that be a lesson learned.
Yes.
Really, really watch those sugars. Seriously.
Yes. Exercise and eat well.
Of
and
course.
Have a positive attitude.
Well, and
It's all
luck.
mind over matter.
Oh, well, there you go, and thank you very much for coming back in.
Yeah, thanks for coming back, man. We're glad you're back. You're a friend of the show now.
Awesome. Thanks.
And thank you to, of course, our loyal listeners out there in wonderful Radio Land. You have been listening to Bumping Into Walls here on CJSW 90.9 FM. Take care, and until the next episode, folks.
See ya.
All right.